right here at Safeco Field. The Houston Astros and Seattle Mariners getting set for game 2 of this 3-game set, with the Mariners having taken last night's game. Time to check in now and see how the Astros are playing to win. Brought to you by Toyota Tundra. And we look at Carlos Correa. In the first couple of games of the season, we know he went wild. Hit 3 home runs in that span. Had 4 RBIs against the Yankees. Just tearing it up. Since then, he cooled off a bit. Certainly in terms of driving in runs and hitting the home run ball. Has not had another long ball since those first couple of days on the season. But in recent days now, a 7-game hitting streak. Starting to get it going again. Carlos Correa, during that hitting streak, hitting .333. And the numbers much better. And when you look at the overall numbers, Blummer, on what Carlos Correa is doing right now, and Jose Altuve, a number of guys putting up some pretty good looking numbers, but it still seems to be that runners in scoring position number that is ailing this team.
Yeah, and it may be a little unfair because we know what they did last year. They did some spectacular things. That man right there is setting the table for Carlos Correa quite well. And if you look at the numbers, which we will later on, these guys are actually, as a unit, scoring some runs. But for me, they may be making the adjustment to Carlos Correa, maybe busting him in a little bit. And it's his job to make that adjustment now. This is where you get a chance to see that mentality of Carlos Correa work with that talent that he already has, because we know the skills are there, but he definitely has a target on his back because of some of the things he did last year.
And now here's the Astros starting lineup presented by Southwest Airlines. It'll be Jose Altuve in that top spot, followed by George Springer, who's been heating it up. Carlos Correa in the 3 spot. Middle 3, Colby Rasmus, Preston Tucker, and Tyler White. And the bottom 3, Carlos Gomez, Luis Valbuena, and Jason Castro. We are just about set for pitch 1 on the night. Jose Altuve continues to play great baseball all around in every facet of the game. 5 homers on the season, hitting .321, and shoots one sharply up the middle. Cano shaded that way, able to make the play, and out number 1.
There's Nathan Karns. Get a chance to look at some of his numbers. I'll tell you that he is basically a 2-pitch pitcher. Fastball, curveball guy, occasional changeup. Does like to pitch up in the zone with that fastball in order to set up the breaking ball. Good 12-6 hammer. But you can see 5.28 ERA. Gets roughed up early on in ball games. Look for the Astros to be aggressive against him.
Karns facing George Springer now, who has a 5-game hitting streak. Springer aggressively after that first offering at 94. So Karns, one of those good arms as a starter. Lifetime against the Astros, has made just 1 start. Worked 6 innings, allowed 1 earned run in that one. That 1 run came via the home run ball. Oh, he's got a very glossy 1.50 ERA. And resides in the Houston area. Grew up in the Arlington, Texas area. Hit to short on 2 hops. Marte with the play, and the second out. Both ground balls here in the first inning.
Look at Carlos Correa coming to the dish, and the pitch percentage by location this season. You can see working him down and in mostly. But again, we always talk about, Nash can attest to this, some of the conversations that you do have before you face a guy, hard in, soft away, things like that. And it kind of looks like the situation right there where they're pretty consistent trying to get in the kitchen of Carlos Correa and then trying to put him away with pitches away.
I think you can also see that they're trying to stay out of that upper region of the strike zone, an area that last year, when they did get into, Carlos Correa seemed to have that home run response pretty well.
Yeah, he did. And I think it was interesting to see that red spot on the down and away to Carlos, because they're trying to get him to chase that down and away pitch.
4th start of the year for Nathan Karns. Now, as you look at the top 3 hitters, for example, for the Astros, the numbers look good. It looks like the guys are doing everything you could ask, but the RBI numbers have been down. And we talked about Correa, the great start in New York, but the RBI numbers have tailed off. That is the one area, and I guess that couples with the hitting with men in scoring position stat that we've talked a lot about. But it's an area that, even with all the good numbers, has to rise now in this Astros order. Chop to third. Seager with the play. 3 ground ball outs. A 1-2-3 inning turned in by Nathan Karns. We go to the bottom of the first. Of play, the Mariners coming to bat here in the first against Dallas Keuchel. It'll be Nori Aoki in the top spot, followed by Ketel Marte and Robinson Cano. The middle three for the Mariners: Nelson Cruz, Franklin Gutierrez, and Kyle Seager. In the bottom three, Chris Iannetta doing the catching. Dae-Ho Lee, our first peek at him, and Seth Smith is the DH.
There's a good look at Dallas Keuchel, looking to change the fortunes of the Houston Astros. Could be the right guy in the right spot. See those numbers on the top. Not normal for Dallas Keuchel. He's looking to get back in shape. That last outing, he threw the fastball only 32% of the time and went to that curveball almost 45% of the time. So look for him to try and establish that fastball early, because all of his pitches work off that fastball quite well.
Infield drawn in on the corners, respecting speed and bunt ability, as Aoki takes down. Playing in center field tonight, Aoki 0 for his last 10, batting average at .205. Line shot on a hop and gloved at short by Correa as he gets the out. Fine play by the Astros shortstop.
It's a good start. Counts as a ground ball. Ball was actually hit pretty well from Aoki, but how about the sweet pick from Carlos Correa?
4 ground ball outs is what we've seen now in the early goings. Ketel Marte will stand in. 5-game hitting streak in tow. As Keuchel misses low. I was thinking about the numbers you were talking about, Blummer, during that last start for Dallas Keuchel. Fastball percentage was down, but it was also one of those games where everything he threw seemed to get hit by the Texas Rangers. They just had their night against Dallas, and oftentimes when that happens, your game plan goes right out the window. You start trying to manufacture ways to get people out, and it just didn't pan out at all. Dallas falls behind 3-0
with the fastball.
And I know you've seen it many times as Dallas brings the heat through their first strike.
Where's Ketel Marte going on a pitch right down the middle? That drives me nuts.
Deception is a part of his game.
Yeah.
Again, the heater. It's fouled back. That'll fill it. Just the first inning. Of course, Dallas took the loss in that game against the Rangers in Arlington. It was a 7-4 final. He worked 6 innings and allowed 13 hits to Texas. Didn't walk anybody, struck out 5. It was the most runs Dallas Keuchel has given up since giving up 9 to those same Texas Rangers in that same ballpark last September. Got him. Turns to the changeup on the 3-2, gets his first strikeout. 2 down in the first inning, bringing up Robinson Cano.
Good pitch. Still able to throw that changeup in a fastball count. Pulls the string nicely. Sparky was actually talking about that pitch before the game down on the field, saying that sometimes it's okay to throw that changeup in a hittable, should be a hittable zone.
Yeah, right down the middle is what it looked like to me. Now, whether it was exactly there or not, it was in that happy hit me zone. But when you've got a hitter looking fastball and you change that speed, you've got everything.
That's the key, because the hitter recognizes something straight out over the middle of the plate and they're ready to rage on it. By the time they start their swing, they understand it's a changeup and they've got no chance.
5th start on the season for Keuchel. Driven in the air, left center field. Rasmus gets there quickly to make the play in a 1-2-3 bottom of the first inning. We've played one. We haven't seen a base runner in a scoreless game.
Astros and Mariners, and we are still checking out the Pike Place market. We had to stop by Uli's famous sausage company, German Sausage, and it's made about 6 blocks from here. So many different kinds. I'm about to try the Cajun Po' Boy, but guess what, guys? We even found Uli. Can you see Uli behind me? The real Uli is actually back there, the German himself. Guys, you were missing out. This is so much fun.
I don't know Uli, but the sandwich looks pretty good. Thanks, Julia.
Uli's kind of scary, man.
Looks like he might run a tight ship, but yeah, that's good looking stuff.
Oh, he's getting it done.
Did you sample, Julia?
Of course I did. All 3 of those.
Like, what a stupid question that was.
It's delicious.
We go to the second inning. Colby Rasmus at the plate, and we all knew the answer to that, but just wanted to make sure we had a chance to let Julia chime in.
She's pretty consistent.
She is pretty consistent. That is exactly right. Colby Rasmus, big hero. Didn't pan out a couple of nights ago. Last night took an over in the loss to the Mariners. Another peek at what was going on for Uli.
How did Uli let you get that close?
Now, I take it there are varieties of the Uli sausage. We'll never know. Julia's off eating at some shack in the ballpark. Colby Rasmus, 7 home runs on his season. 18 runs driven in, leading the club in each department. He has 7, make that 12 doubles already to go with those 7 home runs. Good curveball evens the count at 2-2.
It's not a bad pace for doubles.
You know what? Wrong line. That was the lifetime number against Seattle. So pardon me.
Never mind. He stinks.
12 career doubles against Seattle, 271 lifetime average. And now has a 3-2 count.
Might have been a changeup right there from Carnes. Talked about not seeing too many of those from him. Fastball, he's right around 55%. That curveball comes in at 30%.
Yeah, let's shave those 12 doubles down to 3 on the season.
Ooh,
Hammer
man.
deep right field down the line. And it hooks just foul going down the line. They'll call me Rasmus flexing a bit. It remains a scoreless game.
I think he got mad at you for talking about shaving. Anyways, we're going to look at the strike zone brought to you by MD Anderson. That is a good old-fashioned hanging breaking ball. Colby waited back nicely, just got a little too quick on the barrel side and ripped it.
So are you saying he takes offense to shaving comments?
I think he's pretty proud of what he's got going on. I mean, there's nothing that rivals what the chin fuzz he's got going.
Look, Dallas Keuchel grew the beard out to its extreme proportions last year, won the Cy Young Award. Can't change that,
Ooh,
right?
there you go.
So maybe Colby's locked in now.
It's a game of adjustments.
Fastball. A little bit of a jam shot on the fly ball to right field. It'll bring Cruz in to make the play. First out of the second inning.
I bet you Colby can make a mean sausage and also churn some butter.
We've got a theme going, I think, early on here. Julia always seems to set the tone. Notice the cooking style. Do you do that when you barbecue at home? Little.
I'm not a. Oh.
Okay, so we're in the second inning. Preston Tucker at the plate. Preston had a big pinch hit rope hit last night, and that has earned a spot in the starting lineup tonight. Preston is the DH. Another curveball. 0-2 the count. Both well spotted there on that outside edge. Now the chilly evening here in Seattle. This curveball hit on the ground to first base. Handled by Dae-Ho Lee as he feeds on to Carnes. Second out of the inning, and fourth ground ball out now recorded by Carnes.
Remember, Astro fans, tomorrow night's Astros game will air on our alternate channel. Visit rootsports.com for alternate channel listings. Game 5, Rockets Warriors.
No Steph Curry. How do you handicap that one?
It's going to be less threes shot in that game, that's for sure.
They'll still put it up. That's kind of a guarantee.
Well, I think the Warriors are just a good team all the way around.
Tyler White takes down and away. Tyler's been taking a lot of strikes, and he finds himself in an 0 for 16 skid, and it looked like right there he was ready to go hacking on the first pitch.
Well, we've talked about how he has hit first, take second, has a good idea of the strike zone.
It has felt to me like that has changed up a bit recently, and
well, and I'm sure you'll agree with this. We've talked about it before. Just watch the front shoulder.
Yep.
If that front side is not staying closed as long as it possibly can, leads to some issues.
Well, we've seen it on the first two pitches. We've seen that front shoulder and hip come flying open as the hot shot is hit to third. Seager with the play, and another 1-2-3 inning for Nathan Carnes. A couple of more ground ball outs as he rolls early in the ball game. Scoreless. Houston Astros baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Lexus. The new 2016 Lexus ES and ES Hybrid. It's next level luxury. And by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. There's your Space Needle. Really a gorgeous city. But it is chilly this time of year. As we go to the bottom of the second inning, Dallas Keuchel had a 1-2-3 first inning. Nelson Cruz leads it off. He'll be followed by Franklin Gutierrez and Kyle Seager. Keuchel has the 1-1 count. Dallas picked up a ground ball out and a strikeout in his first. And now gets ahead, a ball and 2 strikes. Of course, the Astros on a 2-game skid right now. In the 38 games started by Keuchel following an Astros loss over the last 3 seasons, the Astros have gone 25-13 in those games. Correa with the play, first out of the second. So Dallas has had a great way of turning things around for the Astros.
It was a pretty good sequence against a very good right-handed hitter in Nelson Cruz. Also a good cutter down and in, got the swing and miss, and then came back with a changeup.
And whether the Astros are on a winning or losing streak since the start of the 2015 season last year, the Astros have gone 25-12 in his 36 starts. Strike of the knees on Franklin Gutierrez. He inserted in left field tonight. Formerly a guy that was known as the go-get-it guy in center field for the Mariners. Curveball stays high. Keuchel's made 8 career starts against the M's. Also faced him once in relief. And last faced Seattle last August 31st. 7 innings of 1-run ball. Pretty typical Keuchel outing last year. The Astros won that one 8-3. Two pitchers, starting pitchers last night, really went at it. Kept the pace of the game moving along very nicely. It wound up a 3-2 Seattle victory, as we now have a 2-2 count.
It's a pretty good sink on that fastball from Dallas. Tell you what, if the Seattle Mariners get into swing mode, advantage Dallas.
Right here at Safeco Field in 5 career starts for Dallas. He's gone 2-2. Very good ERA at 2.48. And all of that includes a 4-hit complete game that he picked up actually a couple of years ago in May against Seattle. Full count with Kyle Seager waiting on deck. And second strikeout of the night. So Gutierrez is gone. Seager comes to the plate.
Good fastball down, and that's when Dallas is going good and he can work those edges of the zone, but he has such good late life on that sinker when it's going well. He gets swings and misses like that.
Pick up the strikeouts. You don't need the defense, but we know that Dallas Keuchel has picked up consecutive now back-to-back American League Gold Gloves at that pitching position. And since 2014 leads all American, or Major League rather, pitchers in assists and total chances. Mike Hampton used to be that guy, and Hampton would be on, he'd be on ground balls that were headed toward short and second and glove them. Dallas Keuchel maybe not that quick, but very good on the hill. Ball and a strike on Seager. Seager had a home run in last night's game.
Number 100 on his career.
Yeah, that was a big one for him, and even more so for the Mariners. He was just 1 for 4 in the game. That home run, a solo job. Puts it in the air to left field. Colby Rasmus is there. And another 1-2-3 inning. 6 up, 6 down on each side. Scoreless after 2.
Tickets are on sale now. Call 1-877-9-ASTROS to reserve some of the best seats at Minute Maid Park. Save money and receive great benefits throughout the season. Back in Seattle, where I am still enjoying the Pike Place Historic District. I'm checking out the crafts now. Some beautiful things that the locals are making here. And this is one of my favorite day stalls, if you will. Pike Place pigs. Look how cool this is. Steph making all of this with her bare hands. Very cool stuff. We've seen everything from paintings to jewelry, t-shirts, you name it out here, guys. So if there's anything that you want, I'm heading back to the ballpark. Let me know.
Yeah, thanks, Julia. Julia, of course, on a first-name basis with all the vendors over at Pike Place.
She's usually running right by him in the morning for that morning marathon she goes on.
I imagine she did that today as well and probably scouted out all the locations she had for the day. Third inning now as the first pitch is rammed way down the left field side, but foul. Carlos Gomez at the plate. Gomez in that 7 spot. Has hit safely in his last couple of games. Overall, the batting average at .211 for Carlos. Still looking for that first long ball of the season. Gomez, Valbuena, and Castro for the Astros here in the third. Nathan Carnes to the plate. This one's hit in the air, left center field and deep, going back to the wall, and making the catch just in front of the wall is the center fielder Aoki, and a long drive for an out by Carlos Gomez.
I thought Carlos got one. He was a little quick on that first one, trying to drive the ball out of the ballpark with that swing. Got off the end of the bat. This one waited a little bit longer. You can see he got it pretty good, but a cool evening here in Seattle may have knocked that ball down in center field and allowed Aoki to rob it from the warning track.
Did that look like the, not exactly bat flip, but just the style of, I think I got one right there?
Yeah, I think he felt it a little bit.
Long first out of the inning. Luis Valbuena comes to the plate. A lot of similarities between Valbuena and Gomez with the numbers early on. No home runs for Valbuena, hitting just .224. Has doubled Gomez in RBIs 4-2. But not a lot of production going on there. In fact, you look at the last 3 spots in the order for the Astros, just a total of 8 RBIs amongst the 3. Not seeing a lot of pitches. Not sure what that's equating to for Luis this season, as he hits it on the ground right side. Shift on. That leaves Cano with the play. Second out. And 6 ground ball outs now for Carnes. It'll bring up Jason Castro, and it has been a bit of a funk for Jason. 0 for his last 17, and you see the batting average.
43 at bats on the season. The troubling number is the 20 punch outs in those 43 at bats.
Carnes finds the outside edge. Extra batting practice, extra video watching, thinking, probably sleepless hours at night, all of that and a whole lot more going into times like this for Castro. But what do you do?
Just keep battling. They don't call it a grind for nothing.
And you get a fastball like that. It's good velocity at 94, but kind of in that area where when you're going well, you're going to hit that ball hard.
Yeah, and we know Carnes is going to throw some fastballs elevated in the zone that should be good to drive.
Castro lifetime against Seattle at .226 batting average. A couple of home runs. And up to 95. We saw some very good fastballs from Taijuan Walker, young right-hander for Seattle last night, was flat bringing it, and it looked so easy throughout the night.
And it wasn't just us thinking that. Everybody we talked to too saw the same thing.
Just smooth as could be, up to 97 miles an hour. When you hear about some of the great young pitching in Major League Baseball, you'll hear about Taijuan Walker. He's had some injuries and hasn't been ready to go at all times over the past couple of seasons, but you look at what he can do. He might be as good as any. Get that bat ready. That's Colby working on the next long ball. Castro draws the walk. It comes with 2 outs. First base runner of the night for either side, and brings up Jose Altuve. Scott Servais, new skipper of Seattle, and he has been a part of the changing fortunes now for the Mariners. Club that was quite disappointing the past couple of seasons. Off to a good start. Seattle in first place as they wake up today, 10-9, half game in front of Oakland and Texas. And I think I imagine it's fair to say a surprise with the Oakland A's playing as well as they are early on.
Yeah, but again, Oakland probably one of those teams that playing with no expectation, free and easy.
Altuve pops it foul on the right side. That's back in the seats. You feel like that makes a difference for a club?
Yeah, when there's no expectation put on you this day and age. I mean, with all we talk about it all the time, the attention that teams get, whether it be social media, internet, papers, radio, TV. I mean, you pretty much are told what the expectation is on you before the season starts, and there was absolutely no expectation other than themselves in Oakland.
Makes me think of what Jose Altuve has as expectations on himself right now after having won a batting title, back-to-back years of 200+ hits.
I think that's what makes great hitters great, is the expectation they have on themselves to produce.
And that's kind of the flip of what I'm getting at is, once you get to that point, and very few guys ever get where Jose Altuve currently is, but you start to feed off of all of that. You know that 200 hits are what that's just a settling point for you on a season. Curveball stays high. In fact, right now I would say if you got an honest answer from Jose Altuve, he would tell you, in order to have a successful year personally, and not talking team baseball, but personally, he's got to hit over 300 and have over 200 hits, maybe lead the league in stolen bases, and possibly win a Gold Glove at second base.
Well, it's nice when you have a tool set that'll be able to let you go out there and do it too.
I don't know how many years back, but I don't imagine many people thought that he had that tool set, but he has proven it. 3-1 now on Altuve. Castro aboard at first base following the walk, and George Springer waiting on deck. The Astros start play 6-14. They're 4.5 games back in the West Division. 3-7 over the last 10. And there's respect. Back-to-back walks, Castro and Altuve, both aboard for George Springer.
Jack in the Box takes us inside the box score. You get to look at what the Astros 1 through 4 hitters are doing, and these are Major League Baseball ranks, not the American League, all of baseball. Home runs 20. To be expected. These guys have tremendous power, slugging up there. OPS at 912. The one that kind of shocks you is that stolen bases. These guys not only have pop, they've got speed too.
Yeah, primarily Altuve with that with the stolen bases, but you'll get it out of Springer and Correa.
Yep.
Colby
will
Rasmussen
sneak one on you every once in a while.
Colby's a big part of that home run number. And George Springer has 4 on his season. One of those a grand slam, the first and only of his career. That came in that first 3-game set in New York. One ball and no strikes. It's good pitching weather. Get it nice and cool like this, the guys will heat it up, and once they get loose, they'll stay there for a good long while. For the hitters, it's about really getting those hands ready to go. Two balls and no strikes.
Got himself in good position now. 2-0 count. Ducks on the pond. Time to go hunting.
Springer hitting .277. Grounded out to shortstop in the first inning. And again hit to shortstop. Marte onto Cano, and that'll do it on the force play. The Astros get a couple of walks and leave them scoreless after 2.5.
There you go. Score between the Astros and Mariners, bottom of the third. You're looking at the Space Needle, one of the attractions, the features of this city here in Seattle. One of the must-see, must-visits, I would say. Been up there, it's very cool. There's some really cool things that you have to do here in Seattle, like checking out the fish market. Look who's there, Jason Castro, Josh Fields before a game. I don't know if they're going to buy some fish, or they should have caught the fish. Okay, so our Chevy Strobe poll today. Head over to the Root Sports Twitter account so you can vote in it. Which Seattle place would you like to visit the most? Space Needle, Pike Place Market, or Experience Music Project? There's some pretty legendary musicians from this area. Nirvana, Jimi Hendrix. There's some really cool stuff in there.
Jimi Hendrix. I'd forgotten about that.
Duff from Guns N' Roses.
Oh, that guy. Tapper hit to third, foul outside the bag.
Ooh.
Chris Iannetta leading it off, followed by Dae-Ho Lee and Seth Smith. 7, 8, 9 for Seattle. Saw the Space Needle, Julia, this year, a little later in the year, and Toronto is going to go hang off the edge of the CN
man.
Tower in Toronto, and there's word that she may be doing that tomorrow here at the Space Needle.
That's not cool, man.
No?
No, that is not cool.
I think it looks like a terrific time.
Is there?
What are you guys talking about? Hanging off the
remember
side.
the-
I remember the CN
Oh,
Tower, but why are
man.
you trying to get me to hang off the Space Needle?
I want you to bungee jump off it.
No. My feet are going to stay on the ground, guys.
Yeah, that. Oof. It's not good.
Iannetta out in front. It's a ball and 2 strikes. You got to live your life with gusto, Julia.
There's gusto at the top of that thing.
Plenty. Her ball raked to left field, and that's over Rasmus. One hop up against the wall. Chris Iannetta slides in and just does beat the throw. It's a leadoff double here in the 3rd inning. First base runner, first hit for Seattle. And it'll bring up Dae-Ho Lee.
That was a slider that caught a lot of the plate in a 2-strike count. Iannetta did a good job of staying back, letting that pitch come to him. Barreled it up nicely. It's a good thing the trajectory was a little bit lower, kept it on a line. There was enough juice behind that swing to get it out of here.
A clean hit to break it up off of Keuchel. Just the 3rd inning. Dae-Ho Lee at the plate. Known as Big Boy or Pig Tiger.
Excuse me?
That is one of the nicknames, apparently. Big Boy or Pig Tiger. Now, did you have the guts to call him Pig Tiger down there on the field today?
I will tomorrow. I didn't know about it beforehand. Pig Tiger?
Pig Tiger.
That is.
See, I think that might have a little different connotation. I'm not sure. I guess that's really not my realm.
I'm going to have to Google that.
Chopper on the right side. So Lee gets the job done as he lumbers down the line. He's thrown out by Altuve. First out of the inning, but Iannetta effectively moved to 3rd base now on that first out.
Oh, there's your music experience.
Yeah, that's right. Right here in Seattle, right?
I forgot about my drum solo.
Did you get in there and get your hands on?
What year was that? That's been a couple years now.
That's probably 13, I'm guessing.
I was really good at the drums. Look at that.
Yeah, that was an aggressive beat you had going there.
Infield draws in now with 1 out. Seth Smith at the plate. He's the DH. And batting in the 9 spot for Seattle. Good breaking ball to start it. Smith hitting .286. He's got pop, a couple of home runs. Dallas could use the strikeout. A facet of his game that was much stronger last year than I think a lot of people may remember. I think that the talk always is about ground balls for Dallas Keuchel. But he was quite an effective strikeout pitcher a year ago. Over 8 per 9 innings.
That's a good number. Had that element of surprise and was able to get a lot of hitters to swing and chase at a lot of his pitches that were just off the edge.
Last year, as Dallas won the Cy Young Award, was on the All-Star team. was the opening day pitcher for the first of back-to-back years. He struck out 8.4 hitters per 9. Hit to short. Correa freezes the runner and gets the out at first base. So it's just as good as the strikeout. 2 outs now as Iannetta is still at third, and back to the top of the order with Aoki.
Good fundamental play from Carlos Correa. See the infield in. Not all the way in on the grass, a little bit deeper more or less in that base path. But the key right here as an infielder, even playing at that depth, is you got to understand that that runner at third is your priority. And Carlos Correa did a great job of looking Iannetta back, getting that out.
Nori Aoki goes through with that half swing. Grounded out in the first inning, extending that hitless streak to 11 consecutive at bats. Leonis Martin is the regular center fielder. Aoki tonight against the left-hander.
Get a chance to look on that slow-mo, brought to you by Mattress Firm in that first inning. That pick off Aoki's bat. Good job, nice and casual. What I love about that is you could see the grip that Carlos did. He flipped that ball, picked up a perfect four-seam grip.
Four-seam enables players to throw the ball as straight as possible. There are some infielders, tell me if I'm right or wrong, that like to throw the sinker to first base. And
yeah, but I still think they throw it with the four-seam.
Still get
grip.
the four-seam.
Yeah, it's a little more true arc to it. Vinny Castillo at third base was one of those guys. Cal Ripken could throw that nice big long sinker over there, beat guys just by a half step.
But still the four-seamer kind of from three-quarters to sidearm.
Yeah, every guy I've ever known or played with in the big leagues always was able to, with their eyes closed, feel that four-seam grip and get that good throw. A little bit harder for the catcher, isn't it?
It's a faster exchange, but when you're going well, you can do it.
Yeah, you can feel it.
2-2 the count. Half swing, he goes through, down on strikes Aoki, and Dallas Keuchel does a masterful job to get out of the third inning with no damage, stranding Iannetta at third base. Through 3, a scoreless game in Seattle.
Inning. A couple Astro fans looking on. Academy Sports and Outdoors and the Houston Astros are hitting home runs for Houston. This is back on August 19th of last season. Carlos Correa hitting a laser off of Carnes into those Crawford boxes, so some experience there. Here you get a look at what those home runs are doing for Houston, benefiting Houston Children's Charity. Most home runs by a shortstop in first career, 118 games. Carlos Correa at the top of that list by 6.
No, that's phenomenal when you look at the names on there. Just if I was just taking that question with a blank slate, I'd probably think, well, what about A-Rod or Ernie Banks? Back in those days, and like A-Rod played way back in the day.
Well, with all the young shortstops that are in the league now and coming up and making a big splash, I look back at Nomar's numbers, and I believe it was rookie year. He hit 30 bombs.
Rookie season?
Yeah, I'd have to go back and double check, but I'm almost positive.
Huh.
Yeah, I was shocked too.
Ball and a strike on Correa. Drives one to right center field. Cruz going back. Ball hit a little better than Cruz initially thought. First out of the inning.
Yeah, initially it looked like Carlos got it off the end of the bat, but there was a little bit more carry on that.
One out, base is empty for Colby Rasmus. Colby fly to right field in the second. Shift on, 3 infielders on the right side. Only Kyle Seager left on the left. Back-to-back left-handed bats here in the heart of the order, Rasmus and Tucker. The Astros without a hit. They've had a couple of base runners, 2 walks, coming back-to-back with 2 outs in the third inning. That pitch called a strike. Looks like Colby might be mumbling a bit.
Almost fell out of my chair.
Could be why Colby's mumbling.
He's concerned.
Good breaking ball.
This was that last pitch, but you can see in that corner the number 2 pitch, good 6 inches off the outside corner, but that was a nasty breaking ball that Colby just swung over the top of.
Last night we saw a lot of pitches that appeared to be in the strike zone called balls. There's a rake shot into right field, solid base hit for Rasmus. So the Astros have their first hit of the night. It's a single for Colby with 1 out, brings up Preston Tucker.
Yeah, what would Doug Fister do with that strike zone if he was getting that far off the outside corner?
Yeah, it was a tough night last night.
This breaking ball in the zone. And good big league hitters, if you've seen a pitch 3 times in a row and it's somewhere in the vicinity of the strike zone, they're going to have a pretty good pass at it. And it's funny, I saw Doug Fister before the game today, and I went down to him and I asked him, I said, did you happen to look at the video? And he immediately said no. And that told me that he knew that he was pretty close all night long, not getting the calls. Just didn't want to reinforce the fact of what he saw the night before.
So he knew what you're talking about and didn't want to see that stuff last night.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I thought,
I can't blame him either.
All in all, despite the walks for Fister last night, I thought it was a promising outing.
No, and he said it best himself. He goes, all I was trying to do the whole time out there was trying to limit the damage. And the damage being how many walks there were, 7 a career high for him, base runners everywhere.
Well, that makes me think a little bit. Was he trying to stay away from the big hit and therefore the walks followed?
No, I think the walks is what the damage he was talking about.
I see. Preston Tucker grounded out to Pig Tiger in the first inning. Make that the second inning.
Well played. Crafty veteran move right there, Ash. What's the over under and how many pig tigers we can get into the broadcast?
You've already seen a gifted response on Twitter, so
truly incredible. It was so good I had to retweet that thing.
Breaking ball stays high. 2-0 the count on Preston Tucker. And again, that shift employed by Seattle. We're in the 4th inning, a scoreless game. Preston came on as a 9th inning pinch hitter last night, and with a couple of strikes on him, just hung out a rope to right field.
This kid's got a good head on his shoulders, good mentality, good approach to the game, understanding his role. It's not easy coming off the bench and facing closers.
Strong like bull too. Again, Carnes stays in the Houston area in the offseason. Looked like Tucker may have had the green light there on the 3-0.
Colby Rasmus getting into scoring position. It'll give us a chance to look at our Lexus defensive rankings. Franklin Gutierrez is out there in left field. That's Aoki moving to center field, who is in left. And Gary Pettis knows that you can take advantage of these guys. Saw some issues in right field with Nelson Cruz last night. But again, I'm sure Gary Pettis is chomping at the bit to get a base hit in that outfield to wave these guys home and create some good numbers with runners in scoring position tonight.
In terms of coverage and the gaps as well, this outfield that Seattle's employing well shy of what the Astros put out there defensively. Tyler White will try to take advantage. Rounded out in the second. 0 for his last 17 now. Time to break out in a big way, and a tough strike called. Down and away.
What a nice opposite field blast in that gap. Running up there against that wall. Force Colby and Preston to get on their horse and go for a jog.
.258 the batting average for Tyler. Oh, what a start he had to the season. Player of the week in his first week in the major leagues. Product of Western Carolina University. He was just battling for his life in spring training, and then got the word he was making the team. That had to be probably in that good enough category, and then winds up being player of the week. That's a good hitting count. It's 2-1. Carnes has shown that he's willing to throw other pitches when he's behind.
I agree with you. There's no chance you can really just sit down on the fastball here in a count where Carnes doesn't want to fall behind 3-1 and be forced to throw a fastball in the strike zone. But he's shown good command of that breaking ball and able to throw it for a strike.
Tyler White had in games 3 and 4 in his major league career 3 hit games. In each case a home run. He had 3 consecutive games with a home run. He had 9 RBIs in that 3-game span. Further evidence, the 2-1, a breaking ball that finds the outside black.
So that second pitch was a ball. The fourth one is a strike. It was much closer.
As a major league hitter, all you want is consistency, and the same's true for the pitchers.
Oh yeah.
So 2-2 now on Tyler. Chops one slowly to short, the only play to first base. Marte makes that play, second out of the inning. Moving up 90 feet, Rasmus and Tucker, so runners at second and third now as Carlos Gomez comes to the plate.
Carnes is not afraid to go to that breaking ball, is he?
He's very willing. And I would think the mantra right now for the Astros hitters possibly could be, should be, get something early. See if you can find an early fastball. Carlos Gomez got one of those early pitches, rammed it way foul down the left field side last time, and then drove one to left center field. Not quite enough to get out of here.
What I liked about that last AB from Carlos Gomez is he didn't take one of those massively aggressive, out of control hacks. Looked like he actually stayed on a pitch and drove through it to center field. So hopefully that's a sign of things kind of bringing the game back to Carlos Gomez, as opposed to him trying to be aggressive and take that big swing going to get the pitch.
Just 2 RBIs for Carlos. Gets the fastball and fouls it in. That's really a half swing on a 1-0 heater right there with 2 runners in scoring position. It's not what you want.
That's tough. When things aren't going good, you're not fully committed to the swing. This is what happens sometimes. That's when mind and body are not in sync.
And Carnes files that. Chris Iannetta, the veteran catcher, also taking it in. Breaking ball hammered to center field. Aoki gets back though in right center and makes the play. Carlos Gomez has hit it pretty well twice tonight. Nothing to show. The Astros fail in the fourth. Still scoreless.
And we've developed a great rapport over the year. You know, I have great respect and great trust for him while he's got the ball in his hand. He's one of the hardest workers we have. He's very good at what he does and how he does it. And obviously Dallas is not ashamed, not afraid to speak his opinion, especially when it's his game, and he's worked so hard to get to that start. But we push each other because we both want the same thing, and to be his manager on a season where he was one of the best in baseball and winning the Cy Young in the American League is a highlight of my career.
That's A.J. Hinch on Dallas Keuchel, who allows a base hit right here. In fact, second hit of the night for the Seattle Mariners, second double, the other by Chris Iannetta as he led off the third inning. Keuchel managed to pitch out of that frame without a run getting on the board. But now it's Ketel Marte, the two-hitter, with that leadoff double. It brings up three-hitter Robinson Cano.
Yeah, a little bit different part of that lineup. But Keuchel's never backed down from any challenge here at the big league level with that left arm he has. But it's going to take some serious work.
Talk about serious work going on in the major leagues. And I know you're aware of it, Blummer.
Yeah.
Andrew McCutchen with the Pittsburgh Pirates, who are in Colorado, Coors Field. Pirates with an 8-4 lead, in good part because of 5 RBIs with 3 home runs by McCutchen. And they are only in the 7th inning, so
yeah,
who knows what's to come.
Plenty of game left out there in Colorado, that's for sure. Even with those 3 home runs, McCutchen only hitting .241 on the season. Might be a breakout party out there in Colorado.
Cano with an 0-1 count. M's second baseman flied to left field to end the first inning. Following that third inning double by Iannetta that led off the frame, Dae-Ho Lee grounded one to the right side, very effectively moving Iannetta to third base. But Keuchel with the infield drawn in, got a ground ball to shortstop for the second out, and then struck out Aoki, and would like to duplicate that feat here in the fourth. Well spotted. 1-2 the count. Cano doesn't like the call.
Barely notice. He was upset, but we've seen some expansion of that zone from Brian Gorman. That's a good one.
Veteran home plate umpire Brian Gorman, and now the 1-2 count. Cano lays off that slider.
It's got to be the hardest part as a hitter. You get a bad call on you, you fall behind in the count, and Dallas Keuchel does what you expect a good pitcher to do, is throw one just a little bit further off that last pitch. You have a tendency as a hitter to expand the zone, knowing you've got to protect a little bit more.
In that Pirates-Rockies game, Nolan Arenado has hit his 8th on the season. 3-2. Arenado really proved himself last year as one of the game's not only outstanding young third baseman, but one of the really outstanding players in the game. So Keuchel got ahead. It's now 3-2. We'll see how Dallas plays this one. Cano gets timeout. Number of finals in as the Texas Rangers laid it on the visiting Yankees today. 10-1 that final. Ground ball hit right side, so the Rangers, or rather the Mariners, do it again. Cano grounds out. First out, moving to third base Marte, and now the cleanup man Nelson Cruz comes to the plate. Brings out Brent Strom. He in the infield will meet at the mound with Dallas Keuchel. Discuss what they want to do right here. Do you want to bring in the infield with that cleanup man Cruz at the plate?
You really have a chance to create a situation for yourself. Nelson Cruz last time rolled over a changeup to shortstop. Keuchel made some really good pitches on him with a cutter down and in, and then came back to that changeup to get the ground ball. Like you said, Ash, here early in this game, chance to maybe manipulate the situation a little bit. Maybe the unintentional intentional walk.
Well, I was also thinking on the defensive side, if any of the conversation could have been as Keuchel comes up in the strike zone to get a call. If you're presented with a ground ball, well, you've got to be able to check the runner. There's really not much you can discuss there, I guess, bottom line. But in a game like this, and when you're scuffling scoring runs, you cannot allow that run to score without contesting it at least. A couple of pitches staying up for Dallas. There's no way there's any talk about a squeeze here.
Good call.
Ground ball through the hole left field. RBI single has the Mariners on top 1-0. Still one out in the 4th inning. And so the M's strike first.
You can see Castro set up one of that pitch down and in. The slider that just fluttered out over the middle of the plate. Actually, you might be a little bit thankful that that ball is just a rolling ground ball into left field.
So Cruz aboard, a run in. Franklin Gutierrez at the plate, and all 3 breaking balls there, not where Dallas and Castro wanted them. I'm sure. This left up, well spotted fastball at 88. Gutierrez in his 15th career game against Houston pitching. And he's shown some power. 3 home runs against the Astros. hitting .245 overall. Has 82 career home runs. Ball and 2 strikes. Third baseman Kyle Seager waits on deck. It's a beautiful ballpark in Seattle.
I couldn't agree more. I love coming here.
I know you're a big fan of a number of the ballparks on the West Coast, and this is one of them. And I would very much agree with that.
Well, I didn't realize how good you guys have it up here. Now that I get to sit up in these booths, I mean, you guys got great vantage points.
What's this you guys stuff?
When I was playing, it was you guys.
I see.
Yeah.
And so you're going to hold to that.
Well, now I'm one of those guys.
So now you're you guys.
No, now I'm yous guys.
I got you.
There we are. If you're wondering where we're at, we're in that square up there with the big H-Town in the background.
Keuchel gets the strikeout. And for Dallas, his 4th of the night. It's the 2nd out of the inning and brings up Kyle Seager.
Hey, Coca-Cola Astros Buddies membership scores a voucher for 4 tickets to a select Astros game, VIP access to Kids Run the Bases, exclusive player autograph sessions, and more. All for just $25. Visit astros.com/buddies to purchase a membership for kids up to 12 years old.
Seager flied to left in the 2nd. Right off the end of the bat on that breaking ball. These Seattle Mariners, the last time they won their division, you have to go back to 2001. And that was the magic year of 116 wins for Seattle. Those were golden days, and then they lost in the ALCS 4-1. This didn't make any sense. Half swing going through, and Castro quickly on it to hold the runner. That team, that 116-game winning season for Seattle, as you see Castro do another fine job. He's been very good in this regard. Yeah, they had the likes of Brett Boone and John Olerud. Former Astros farmhand Carlos Guillen was on that club. David Bell, Mike Cameron, a guy I know you love as an outfielder. Ichiro had a mere 242 hits that year.
What a jerk.
Hit .350. Edgar Martinez was still slamming away 116 RBIs.
Man.
And that chopper goes foul.
Tell you what, Seager's having a heck of an at-bat right here. He fouled that last one off his back foot. No, that team was dominant.
116 wins. Man. Runner goes with the pitch in the dirt. Castro's throw, and they got it. Nicely done by Jason Castro to quickly jump on it and fire a seed for a strike to second base. That'll do it for the Mariners, but they get on the board. A couple of hits and leave nobody. It's 1-0 Seattle.
lead over the Astros. We go to the top of the 5th. And it's time to tell you the winner of the Chevy Strove poll. We were asking you about Seattle. Where would you go if you headed this way to the Pacific Northwest? 50% to the Space Needle over the Pike Place Market. It is really cool up there, guys. Have y'all been? You could,
I have not.
Clear. You can see Mount Rainier in the distance. It's actually really beautiful.
I got talked into going up there, and I was pinned against that wall in the middle because I didn't want to get anywhere near the edge.
You sound just like me.
Man, I'm not a fan.
So you're going to do the CN Tower edge walk with me.
Yeah, let's go.
Like.
Yeah.
So, Julia, are you saying that if Blummer will do it with you, you'll do it?
No.
It's coming up this year, and that's going to be great. I can't wait to see that. We go to the 5th inning. The Astros down a run, 1-0. Luis Valbuena leads it off, followed by Jason Castro and Jose Altuve here in the 5th inning.
I would have to not eat for a week to go up there and do that because, oh man, there's no way. There is no way. There's no way I'm going to hang off the edge of a perfectly good building.
Curveball got him. So Carnes on 3 pitches dispatches Valbuena. Out number 1. And just the first strikeout. The fans are, Julia, they're not that impressed with your hands apparently.
Well, this guy's going to bring the noise too. This is a presentation, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, look at the crowd that was watching me.
Did you get nervous?
Okay, so this one.
Oh, it got you. Oh, you chested that one up nicely. Keep it in front.
Well, the first one was the one that everyone catches, so it's not as slimy. But the one they threw that in the video you just watched was frozen. So it was a piece of ice flying at you. A little more slick. They didn't tell me that.
No, that
I moved up. I went
shoulder,
from novice to advanced real quick.
0-2 the count on Castro.
But watch the impact on the left shoulder.
Of course, we're going to slow it down.
Looked to me like you could have just thrown fist right down the throat there.
Oh.
That's it. That's the last time we're ever going to see that shirt.
Took salmon to the neck there.
But the catch was made. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
1-2 on Castro. First ball thrown in the inning by Carnes. Stays at 1-2. Carnes, 28 years of age. So were you coachable?
Of course. You saw my
Obviously,
catches.
yeah.
I was 2 for 2.
Who would have thought the fish market had a wide receiver coach?
Look at the focus.
Yeah, you were locked in right there. You were like, okay, I got this. Motivational pep talk there. Oh my goodness.
Oh wow.
See, look at that fish. That's the fish I caught on the first video. Much easier.
Get the radar gun out.
I should have tried to one-hand it.
That poor fish is taking a beating.
2-2 pitch. Curveball got him looking. Well spotted by Carnes. Back-to-back strikeouts in the first 2 of the night for the righty. And back to the top now with Jose Altuve. Altuve 0 for 1 on his night. He's drawn a walk. Carnes still throwing hard as the good breaking balls. Altuve hitting .317. Backs away and takes the bender for a strike. Boy, that's a good one he's got going right now. 1-2 the count.
Curveball is nasty. You get a big league hitter like Jose Altuve to buckle a little bit, you're doing something right.
And the curveball. 3 strikeouts All three hitters, Valbuena, Castro, and Altuve in the 5th inning. 1-0 Seattle. Houston Astros baseball on Root Sports is presented by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By Jack in the Box, taste the Jumbolicious Jumbo Meal before it's gone, only at Jack in the Box. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, donating $100 for each Astros home run and $200 for each Correa dinger to Houston Children's Charity. Bottom of the 5th inning. Kyle Seager at the plate. Mariners with the only run of the ball game coming in the bottom of the 4th inning. Got a leadoff double from Ketel Marte. He moved to third on a ground out by Robinson Cano, and then Nelson Cruz drove that first run in with a base hit to left field. Cruz eventually thrown out trying to move up on a pitch in the dirt, as Keuchel faced just 4 in the 4th inning. Dallas has struck out 4 this evening. It's Seager, Iannetta, and Dae-Ho Lee here in the inning. Hot shot, but the defense is right there with Carlos Correa, and out number 1.
You know what's great about that sequence right there is that before that pitch, Correa moved from the shift position he was at to back almost to shortstop. That was well played. Let's see if we can watch this angle. This is before that pitch. Correa moving, and the next pitch, ground ball right at him.
Carlos Correa knows something, doesn't he?
Yeah, there's something going on. I like it. It's a great look at it. Smart baseball going on down there.
It is some good smart baseball. Iannetta takes away. Pretty good catch right there by Jeff Blum as well. Iannetta with a double in the 3rd inning. Changeup misses away. A couple of pitches very close to the same location. At 3-0.
Close pitch.
Yeah.
But a good job by Iannetta in a 2-0 count where you're looking to get a pitch you can drive, laying off that pitch also.
4-pitch walk. It's the first walk of the night issued by Dallas Keuchel.
Join the Astros at Minute Maid Park on Saturday, May 7th, as 10,000 fans will receive a Dallas Keuchel Cy Young Gold Glove bobblehead presented by Houston Methodist. Visit Astros.com or call 1-877-9-ASTROS for more info. That's a dual combo bobblehead going on there.
Dae-Ho Lee at the plate, South Korean. And a big hitter, fouls one down the right side. Has a couple of home runs on the season, 3 RBIs. Lee is 34 years of age. Just 4 hits, but the 2 home runs mentioned. Hits a ground ball left side. Backhanded by Correa. He'll go to first base, and that throw off line. So Lee has himself an infield single safely into second. Iannetta. And I'm kind of curious about your thoughts, Blummer, as to where the possibilities might have been right there.
Well, you've got catcher Iannetta, no offense, maybe a little bit slower than most runners, but you've also got Dae-Ho Lee going down to first base, and I think that's what was going through the mind of Carlos Correa, the fact that he had a better opportunity to try and get Dae-Ho Lee going to first base.
$13,821 on hand here this evening. A little less than last night. Night's pretty comparable in terms of temperature. Pretty chilly to battle these out. So Seager grounded out to start the inning. Then the walk to Iannetta, infield single Lee. And now the 9-hitter Seth Smith at the plate. Of course, we know all about Dallas Keuchel and his present 17-game home winning streak. But he's got to find a way to win one on the road tonight. The Astros need one very much. That shift on in the infield.
It's ground ball time from Keuchel, isn't it? Maybe get a good sinker down. Seth Smith to roll it over.
Any way you look at it, if you're talking ground ball to the right side, it's going to have to be a creative double play. And if it's to Altuve or to White, it takes the long throw back to second base. But then again, Smith doesn't run all that well, so you've got the possibility.
Yeah, you've got a log jam on those pace paths right now, too.
Three 3-0 the count. Keuchel in jeopardy of a second walk here in the inning. Brings the strike at the knees. What a rarity for Dallas Keuchel to walk hitters. And yet you go back to his first couple of starts this season in New York. Tough conditions. It was very cold, but he walked 4 over 7 innings. And then that next outing in Milwaukee indoors walked 6 in 5 2/3 innings.
Eesh.
Just inside, and that'll load him up. First 2 walks of the night for Dallas. And now top of the order with Aoki.
Well, if you look at the bottom third of the order for the Seattle Mariners, you're seeing Chris Iannetta walk, Dae-Ho Lee infield hit, Seth Smith now walks. It's not the part of the lineup you want to let get on base, especially when it turns the lineup over.
So the base is loaded. Infield plays back for the double play at short and second, drawn in on the corners. And with the leadoff man Nori Aoki at the plate, certainly a possibility of a squeeze, despite that force play possibility at the plate. Boy, there have been a number of close pitches in the inning. Aoki 0 for 2 tonight. Ball and a strike. ball hit right side. Tyler White will come to the plate, and a wise play as they get that force and prevent any further damage. 2 outs in the inning, and a nice play by Tyler White.
I agree, Ash. Great play by Tyler White, ranging to his right, backhand that play nicely. What I like is once you see him catch the ball, watch him set his feet, make sure he throws a strike to home plate so Jason Castro can field that nice and easily and make sure that out at home plate.
And so Keuchel has a chance to get out of the inning with no damage on the board. Ketel Marte at the plate is 1 for 2 with a double. And Marte scored that run for Seattle. Led the 4th inning off with a double down the left field line.
Let's take a look at our Ford spray chart. Pitches inside for Dallas Keuchel, way up this season so far early on. A little more aggressive with that slider down and into right-handers. And again, he's probably facing a lot more right-handers this season too, trying to stack that lineup to defend against that slider, but still not afraid to go in there.
Line drive, base hit to center field. 1 run is scored. The throw from Gomez will hold the other runners. And so a solid RBI single by Ketel Marte has Seattle leading it 2-0, and the base is still loaded with 2 outs.
Not a bad pitch. Castro set up down there. Just a better job by Marte going down to get it and going right back up the middle with it.
Now, we've talked about the outfielders and the arms for the Astros, and they're tough to run on. And maybe wisely so, Seattle doesn't try to send on the arm of Carlos Gomez, and now leaves it in the hands of a very able hitter, Robinson Cano. 0 for 2 on the night. Keuchel will continue from the stretch. Seattle with 5 hits, the Astros just 1 on the evening. Castro continues to do a very fine job. It's a huge out to get here for Keuchel, trying to keep it at 2-0 in the 5th inning. Fister hit in the air, left field dropping, and it drops in front of Rasmus. They're going to send to the plate, and 2-run score. Now they have Cano hung up at first. In the rundown, the throw comes to the plate from White, and that gets by Castro. 3 runs have scored. And Seattle turns the 2-0 lead into a 5-0 lead. Tyler White unable to make a good throw to the plate.
Frustration building for the Houston Astros. Dallas Keuchel makes a good pitch, but Cano does a better job of just jamming that one into left field with the high throw. Cano makes a wide turn to make sure that runner gets home. But at the same time, you would hope that fundamentals would take care of themselves. But it looks to me that Tyler White may have stumbled a little bit trying to get his feet in position to make that throw home. In doing so, chucks it to the backstop, and more damage being done and base runners advancing.
Single, 2 RBIs for Cano, and gives him the magic 1,000 RBIs on his great career. An error charged on the play, that to Tyler White, enabling that 3rd run to score on the play. It is Cruz make that. Cano at second base, Nelson Cruz at the plate. But 4 runs in the inning. Castro with the block.
That's a big number right there, Ash.
That is a big one. Talk about crooked numbers. You had a 1-0 game, and then it went to 2-0 and got a chance to get out, and suddenly it just jumps to 5-0. 1-2 now on Cruz. A.J. Hinch, no doubt, has to be extremely frustrated. And that hitting with runners in scoring position stat would be a big key to the frustration. The pitching starts the night dead last in the league in terms of ERA. The starters, the main culprit. The bullpen has been coming along of recent games. But you've got your Cy Young Award winner on the hill. And it's 5-0.
And that's the tough part. And you know as well as I do, when you got your ace out there and you've been struggling, you rely on him to be doing some work, and he has been. Unfortunately, the defense has let him down a little bit with some errant throws. But again, the walks in this inning, 2 walks for Dallas Keuchel. One of them loaded up the bases. But it doesn't send a good message to the ball club when you do have your ace out there and you're down 5-0 in the 5th. And that's no offense to any of the guys behind it, but there's one guy on the hill that you look forward to having out there, and it was Dallas Keuchel.
Well, he's been that stopper, and
yeah.
you're dead right. Two and 2 the count on Cruz.
And teams do press in situations like this, especially an Astro team who is just loaded with talent and knows that they are better than what they're playing at. And I think that's what leads to a lot of the pressing. But at the same time, I would like to see them get to a point where they just decide to start playing extremely hard again.
Keuchel finds that inside edge. Cruz is caught looking. That'll do it for the M's. It's 5-0 Seattle.
Is presented by authority of Houston Astros, LLC, and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Houston Astros, LLC.
We're going to the 6th. 5-0 Mariners lead the Astros now. It is time to name that Astro, and it's brought to you by your local Honda dealer. We're going to give you some clues. 1990 Mariners draft pick. He played for 6 Major League teams, and he was a one-time NLCS MVP. Who is this Astro? Tweet us your best guess. We'll tell you later.
That looks like somebody to me.
That's not cool. There you go, Julia. All you. Do you see the little people down there?
Oh, wow, that's CN Tower in Toronto, right there.
You don't really need to worry, though, at that point. Your parachute will have deployed already. George Springer leads it off here in the 6th inning. And there is work to be done by the Astros bats. It is 5-0 Seattle in game 2. Springer 0 for 2 on the night. Presently, the numbers that I have, and I don't know that this stands up, say that one of those runs was unearned against Keuchel in the 5th inning. I don't know that you can anticipate the out call at the plate. So for the moment, 5 runs and 4 earned against Dallas. Ball and 2 strikes on Springer. George has hit a couple of ground balls to shortstop this evening. Nathan Karns has been very good. Two and 2 the count.
It's been real good. Fastball, curveball combination.
Ground ball hit back up the middle. Slowly hit. That enables Marte to get to it. And out number 1. Loving all your stories tonight. Great job, Julia Morales. We love you.
Does it look like I'm about to?
It looks like that fish is on the attack.
But I'm looking at it like I really adore it. Right? We're having a moment.
That looks more fearful to me, Julia. I'm sorry.
I love screenshots.
Oh boy. Kiss the fish.
1 out for Carlos Correa, who takes a strike. Talking about how well Nathan Karns is working tonight for Seattle. That on the heels of Taijuan Walker, who last night struck out 11 in a 1-run effort against the Stros and picked up the win. Very close. A ball and a strike. The Astros with runners in scoring position on the season now, 20 games, hitting 182. Tomorrow night's game, same start time. 9:10. Colin McHugh goes against Hisashi Iwakuma. Curveball laced, but gloved by Marte. A hooking line shot is the 2nd out of the inning.
Tell you what, judging by that swing, I think Carlos Correa was sitting on that breaking ball from Karns, got it, smoked it just right at Marte. He's out there shaking his hand right now because that ball was absolutely obliterated on a line. Nice play.
Almost as tough as the play made by Julia Morales earlier in the evening.
Very similar.
2 outs, bases empty for Colby Rasmus. And the bat goes through.
Houston Methodist brings us our league leaders. Best at bat to RBI ratio, minimum of 25 plate appearances, and Sean Rodriguez driving in runs and some big names. Colby Rasmus on that list.
And he should be, yeah. Seen Sean Rodriguez, kind of a part-time player. I don't know if he's playing all the time right now for the Pirates, driving in some big runs for them. Bryce Harper, you would expect at or near the top.
Saltalamacchia has been a huge boost in that Detroit lineup behind the plate.
He has been. Good curveball. It's 2-2. Are you bought in fully to the Cubs?
Yeah, I am. They're not even swinging the bats as well as they can either.
That's why I asked. They're 14-5.
But their pitching has been getting the job done, and they've been getting some timely hitting. But if that offense ever clicks all together, my goodness.
Colby fouls it off. Pirates and Cardinals in that division. That's a very formidable division now.
Yeah, it's a long season in that NL Central.
Oh, the Diamondbacks are playing pretty good baseball in the West. Dodgers lead, but Arizona 11-10.
And that's with Greinke and Miller, top two guys in the rotation, not getting off the greatest start.
Breaking ball got him looking. A 1-2-3 6th inning for Nathan Carnes as the Mariners lead at 5-0.
To the Mariners. Join the Astros at every Monday through Thursday home game in May with the new Astros ballpark pass for only $49. That's 10 games for only $49. Buy yours while they're still available at astros.com/ballparkpass. Hey guys, news of the day here. AJ Hinch telling Scott Feldman he'd be in the bullpen throughout the weekend. Chris Davinsky will get his first start for the Astros this Saturday against the Oakland A's.
Thanks, Julia. As we go to the bottom of the 6th inning, Seattle with the 5-0 lead, and there's that back end of the rotation. What were your thoughts as you see Davinsky, who's pitched well as a reliever and now goes into the rotation?
I think he deserves it. He's done a great job out of the bullpen, and we know in spring training they stretched him out to be a starter. But he is here now. He's pitching well, and considering the way things are going, I think A.J. Hinch is just trying to mix it up a little bit, maybe bring some fresh blood into that rotation and get a good start out of Davinsky. But, you know, it's one start. We don't know how it's going to pan out the rest of the way, but for the time being, I think that it's a pretty good move to try and give a kid a chance to get into that rotation and maybe mix it up a little bit, give him a different look.
Keuchel falls behind 3-0 and now finds the strike zone. Scorer is now speaking to us about the ruling in the previous inning. All 5 of those runs are going to be earned against Dallas, so that's very painful. George Springer looked like he was battling some lights once again as he makes the play.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say he's not going to get any LEDs in the house he builds.
Yeah, I think that might be accurate. And not the first time that George has battled lights. Kyle Seager comes to the plate, 0 for 2 on the night. Seager's 0 for 2. At what point does a Dallas Keuchel get frustrated beyond what you want to see? That competitive frustration where it kind of goes beyond that and you maybe lose your focus a bit.
I'm not sure if it's possible for a guy like Dallas Keuchel to lose his focus. I know the frustration level will mount because he's human.
Michael Feliz warming in the pen.
But there's gonna be a snap here and there. But for me, Dallas Keuchel is one of those guys that can go in and make adjustments, hopefully, and move forward past these.
Routine play to right field. 2 outs in the inning. Yeah, and I guess I would tend to agree. For those of us mere mortals, and I'll just speak for myself, there came times when you thought, okay, we can get this turned around. We're going to turn it. It's going to come today. It's coming this week, whatever the case may be. And then you actually, kind of get to the bottom of the tough times, and it's hard to not start feeling that frustration.
This game is humbling. It is a hard game to play. Last year, Dallas Keuchel was on top of the mountain, won the Cy Young, but it is a humbling game. It's how you handle that moving forward that separates you from guys who don't have success.
Yeah, that's well said. Chris Iannetta at the plate. Seeing that changeup here in the inning.
But I think Dallas Keuchel's in a good position. He's got the stuff. He's willing to make adjustments.
Well, that's proven over the past couple of seasons.
He studies, and he's got a pitching coach in Brent Strom who wants these guys to succeed. So he is going to be doing as much as he can to enable these guys to make the adjustments and become successful again. And they're good. These guys are good. They have talent.
2-2 the count.
I would love to go. When I was on teams that struggled a little bit and we had some tough stretches, I would always go in, not always, but there were a couple opportunities I had to go in and talk to video coordinators in the clubhouse.
Hit on the ground to short. Correa will make the play. We'll get Jeff Blum talking further about that as we come back. We played 6, 5-0 Seattle.
Baseball Live, and stay up to the moment with game day, live highlights, StatCast, and more with the MLB.com at-bat app. Download the app for your phone or tablet now. Blummer, has anyone wished you a happy birthday today? Have you gotten that yet?
Yes, I have.
Wait, we're about to look at birthdays, but
Oh man, there's
19 questions.
There's a low number underneath those question marks.
Look at that.
William Shakespeare.
Wait, it's Channing Tatum's birthday, and they didn't put that one on there. That was in the game notes today.
Your game notes? Yeah, you were printing those out earlier, trying to steal my thunder. Mike Scott. That's a good one.
I've already had a little communique with my former teammate.
That's good.
He'll listen in to us quite a bit, by the way. Nathan Karns, very good tonight. Right on the heels of Taijuan Walker last night. We go to the 7th inning. Work to be done. Preston Tucker, Tyler White, and Carlos Gomez. In our last episode, Jeff Blum was talking about things he would do when in the midst of these struggles.
Yeah, I would hit up the video coordinator, and I'd have him do his best highlight reel of everybody on the team, whether it be big punch outs or for the offense, you know, any hit, and have him just compile a good 5-minute tape and just put it on a loop in every TV in the clubhouse and just kind of change the mojo and remind guys that they are good. Just remember those good feelings and try and get those good vibes and that good mojo going out on the
that's a great idea.
Ballpark.
So you would instigate that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a bench role player. You're kind of going in and out of the clubhouse, you know, into the batting cage, picking up bats, changing batting gloves. So watching video, and I spent a lot of time in the video coordinator's office and got to be good friends with some of those guys. Mike Tompkin is one guy that jumps to mind for me in San Diego. And he was more than willing to help accommodate the whole situation by putting together a good highlight reel of everybody hitting the ball hard and making some good pitches. Can't say it worked every time, but it was just an effort to try and change the mindset in that clubhouse.
By the way, I apologize. That was a terrible transition on your birthday right there on my part. And
for what?
I just need to say happy birthday.
Have I thanked you for that cookie you brought me up yet?
Cookie? That was a cake. That was a birthday cake I provided you.
That was a cake for Altuve. Me, it was just a cookie.
You have been watching your figure, and I just didn't want you to go too far.
I appreciate that.
Celebrations can get over the top. Preston Tucker down on strikes, and suddenly the strikeouts are starting to rack up for Nathan Karns. That's 5 on the night. Let's watch Jeff Blum on his birthday.
Yeah. Dig me reel. Turn it. Oh boy, JK, that was Jeff Whoa. Skunk look right there. Who was that, Chris Benson? Take that ball. Oh.
It's a big man at the plate right there.
Gosh, I loved hitting it Minute Maid.
Happy birthday.
Look at that, it worked.
Tyler White takes his cue, lines one into right center field, solid base hit. And for the Astros, that is just their 2nd hit of the night. And for Tyler White, that breaks up a pretty ugly string. He was 0 for 18 coming into that at bat.
We talked about him earlier, driving that ball over the second baseman's head into that gap. Great piece of hitting right there by Tyler White.
Maybe a little more aggressive. There have been a lot of passive at bats. So he's aboard with 1 out. Carlos Gomez at the plate has flied to center twice and has hit the ball pretty well twice this evening. I saw some pretty good hose at third base there in some of those highlights.
I loved it. That was a great thing about third base, because you could really plant that right foot and let it go. But it was also comforting knowing Baggy was over there too. No matter where that ball was, he was going to do a good job of making it look better than it actually was.
Of course, it's really comfy to be a third baseman, somewhat on the heels of Ken Caminiti and that arm he possessed at third.
There was nothing like Ken Caminiti. He was amazing. He was not afraid to break that cannon out.
Yeah, for me, he threw probably as well as anybody I've seen. And there are outfielders who get to show it off a little bit more, but I'll guarantee you Cam could have stepped on any position of the field and made everybody else say, get out of here. I don't want anybody comparing my arm to yours.
Didn't you have a good story about Caminiti behind the plate when he just kind of like snuck back there and threw a couple of just rockets to second base?
Terrible moments of spring training when the catchers are all lined up and you're getting your times to second base and that sort of thing, and Cam decided, I want a piece of this. And of course he stepped in, and all of a sudden, I mean, he was throwing these clotheslines that were hanging about 3 feet over the rubber on the mound and staying right there at second base, and it was silly stuff.
I believe it.
I had to take him and just pull him off the field. Ground ball hit to short. 6-4, and that's all they'll get on that play. I believe Robinson Cano lost his focus.
Dude.
And the fans here in Seattle, despite the 5-0 Mariners lead, a little disappointed with their second baseman.
Where are you at, Robinson Cano? That was a textbook inning-ending 6-4-3 double play, except for the fact your second baseman has no idea how many outs there are.
Wow. That was tailor-made, wasn't it?
Oh. And that was one where Marte probably could have taken it himself, but was going to give a little turn on the double play to Cano.
There's the kind of play that if you're actually really struggling as a team and that takes place for you, that can really make it look wrong. Brings Valbuena to the plate. But Seattle's been playing good baseball, and Cano can take advantage of that.
Yeah, that 5-0 lead will. No, it really won't for me.
No, I get you. And,
I was going to try, but no.
You're right. Popped up to the seats on the left side. Mariners have won 5 of their last 6. They're leading in tonight's game, and so it's a lot more comfortable to make one of those mental mistakes under that scenario. But Scott Servais, I don't know. Do you immediately go up to Robinson Cano, who already knows he made the mistake?
I don't think that's even necessary for a guy like Robinson Cano. He may get a look, but I don't think you have to go out of your way to maybe embarrass him a little more than he already feels right now.
Will Cano in turn come up to an infield coach and say, I know,
well,
won't happen again?
You know what? I would be more appreciative if Robinson Cano went up to the pitcher Carnes and said, hey, I'm sorry for tacking on a couple more pitches in this inning.
Yeah, that's probably the best thing that can be done. Two balls and a strike on Valbuena. It's a very effective breaking ball from Carnes this evening.
Still got good break on it too. It seemed early on he didn't have it quite as sharp, but the longer he goes in this game, it looks like it's gotten even better.
Seattle has a right-hander throwing in their pen, so this could be near the end of the line for Carnes. 3-2. ...103 pitches thrown. Dallas Keuchel is at 107. Runner goes, but strike 3 on Valbuena. Second in the inning, 6th on the night for Carnes as he rolls with a 5-0 lead.
Bagwell taps it, slowly hit. Tatis coming a long way and safe at first. Hit number 2,000 for Jeff Bagwell in the same place where Craig Biggio got his 2,000 2 years ago on an infield hit.
This moment in history is presented by MD Anderson. That was Baggy's 2,000th hit. And you heard Bill Brown on the call.
Jeff Bagwell is talked about for his power game and what a fine first baseman and leader he was. But he could run. He wasn't that burner, but he was that next step under, and he was always 100% out.
Yeah, that might want it. I mean, nobody ever talks about it because he had such great offensive statistical numbers, but when you watched him on a daily basis like you and I did for so long, you really had an appreciation for how quick his feet were. But he was always one of those guys that was able to take an extra 90 feet at any moment.
Yeah, he was really a good base runner. And I'll say one more thing as we mentioned that Michael Feliz now picks it up for Dallas Keuchel. Dallas went 6 innings, 6 hits allowed, 5 runs all earned, a couple of walks and 5 strikeouts while throwing 107 pitches. One tough inning, 4 runs coming in the 5th against Dallas. Jeff Bagwell was the guy for me that every time, and I'll say every time I saw him hit a pop fly to the infield, shallow in the outfield, he was digging as hard as he could from home to second base.
He set a very good example.
Dae-Ho Lee at the plate. 1 for 2 with a single, scored a run. That was the second run of the night for Seattle. Feliz has a 2-2 count. Feliz just recalled by the club following the final game against the Red Sox at home, and Lee has his second hit of the night. So he's aboard to start the 7th inning, and the 9-hitter Seth Smith coming to the plate.
Talk of a couple of Hall of Famers. Ken Griffey going in for the Mariners this year. There's been a lot of talk about Edgar Martinez possibly qualifying, and why not match him up? 2 great hitters. Edgar Martinez did most of his damage as a DH. Baggy was a complete player playing first base all those years, but OPS more home runs, more hits. Look at the steals numbers. I guarantee you the RBI numbers for Baggy are a huge bonus also. But a unique comparison in this day and age when there's a lot of talk about who belongs and who doesn't.
Feliz finds the plate. It's 0-1. Now that stolen base category kind of sneaks up on you, doesn't it, with Jeff Bagwell? And he wasn't a stat builder. Those bags were when it was meaningful for the club. And 2 as Feliz blows it by at 95. 5 runs on 7 hits for Seattle. The Astros no runs on 2 hits. A couple of starts at Fresno, 1-0. That ERA not worth mentioning. Again, right back to the heater blown by. First out here in the 7th.
Good fresh arm for Michael Feliz.
He's throwing well, man. Nori Aoki, the leadoff man, is 0 for 3 on the night, but scored a run after reaching on a fielder's choice in the 5th. Japanese-born player Aoki. He's played with Milwaukee, KC, the Giants, and now in his first year with Seattle. That's a 1-2 count. When Aoki first showed up in the big leagues with Milwaukee in 2012, he pounded out 10 home runs, drove in 50 that year. But those numbers playing in 151 games. Correa with the play on to first base and throws high and on the home plate side, and everybody's safe. It's going to be an E6 as Carlos Correa tried to throw on the run, simply did not complete that needed throw.
Uncharacteristic. Ball not hit sharply. But you can see with Correa not setting his feet and using that good strong arm, you can see doesn't really follow through on the release and finish the throw.
Tyler White did all he could do on the play, just couldn't come up with a tag. So 2 runners aboard, first and second. 1 out for the 2-hitter Ketel Marte, who's been a big part of the offense tonight. He's 2 for 3. Drove in a run, scored a run. Single and a double tonight for Marte. Again tomorrow night, 9:10 start. Colin McHugh and Hisashi Iwakuma. Thursday's an off day before the Astros start a 3-game set in Oakland with the Oakland A's, who have played well. They're 10-10 on the season. Line drive center field, and that'll drop in front of Gomez. He flips it into Correa, but Dae-Ho Lee does not run well at all, and that's an understatement. He's at third, loading him up as Robinson Cano comes to the plate.
Ketel Marte's having himself a night. Punched out in his first AB, and then next 3 at bats goes double, single, single. Also has an RBI on the evening.
Ball's sharply hit.
Yeah. It's a good fastball up in the zone from Feliz, too.
2 hits in the inning. The error on Correa. And now Cano has the bases loaded.
I'm not sure how you feel, Ash, but I'm running out of ways to understand what is going on.
I'm with you.
This is tough.
Ball club that got into the postseason so close to getting by the eventual world champions last year, Kansas City. And now, after a good spring, a spring that saw them play quality baseball, as A.J. Hinch likes to talk about, good, clean baseball. The season beginning like this. And I mean, you can point to stats. Yeah, the pitching hasn't been as good as you'd like, anywhere near to what it was last year. The hitting with men in scoring position has been a huge culprit. Do you have more?
Well, this game has been an explosion of miscues. But I agree that, you know, if you statistically, if you put it all on paper, you could point to one thing, and yes, starting pitching has not been what you had hoped it would be. But
defensively, the shot there, has the defense been as good as anticipated? In some aspects, I would say yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, Andy Dufresne in Shawshank Redemption said hope is a good thing. And I think the talent on this team should give fans some hope.
Well, I hope Andy's right about things right now. Counts full. One out here in the inning. Seattle trying to open this thing wide open.
Talk about the road woes too. I know that got pounded on a lot last year too, but here early on in the season, road issues jumping up early and often.
Cano gets timeout. I think when you compare the Astros with other clubs they're facing position by position, they stack up very well.
There's a lot of people around the league in seats that we sit in that would say the same things, have said the same things.
I sat down to dinner here at the ballpark this evening with some of the broadcasters with Seattle, and their comments basically were "Now relax, it's only 20 games in. Obviously you guys are a really talented bunch, but when you're a part of a team that's struggling, it's hard to have that feeling." And I think we've maintained an optimism. We believe it's going to happen. It has to happen pretty soon though. Again, Cano stays alive.
Oh, the month of April is closing out. Maybe it's just the month of April.
Well, you hope when it's all said and done. Look, you can look. Last year, the Astros had a very good month of April, and then they continued to play close to 500 the rest of the way.
Yeah.
And that turned out to be enough. This year, maybe it's another month or two that they have the big positives.
Very well could be.
Ran to right center field and deep. Back at the wall. It's out of here. A grand slam for Robinson Cano. And what was a 5-0 game suddenly turns to 9-0.
Cano fouled off a lot of fastballs leading up to the swing. When you see that many fastballs, your timing starts to get down. Rhythm is in sync, and then you get a fastball as a left-hander in that happy zone, down and in. And that's what Cano got, was a fastball down, able to launch that into the right center field bleachers.
Well, the Astros have hit a couple of slams themselves this year. This time they find themselves on the other side of that big swing. Michael Feliz has had good stuff in the inning, and boy, it's tough when this happens. The error by Correa. big in the inning. It's the 7th home run on the season for Cano. Six RBIs for Cano on the evening, tying a career high. That's the 10th grand slam in the career of Robinson Cano.
It's pretty good.
Three and one the count to Nelson Cruz. You know, that's how you make people forget about mental miscues. A rope to left field. Some balls are getting hit hard. And that on a 94-mile-an-hour heater.
I'll tell you what, raise your glass and cheer on the Astros on Friday, May 6th at Pino in the Park. Presented by Houston Methodist. This event features a pregame wine tasting, food pairings, and stemless wine glass to the first 500 fans with an event ticket. Visit Astros.com or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Franklin Gutierrez at the plate. Playing in left field tonight. Has struck out a couple of times in 3 at-bats. That home run by Cano, by the way, number 246 in his career, but 10 grand slams. Ball finds the bottom of the knees. With the bases loaded, Robinson Cano has hit .323 over his career. There's a couple of guys who have been pretty good with men on base.
That they have.
Don't have the numbers in front of me. Edgar Martinez, one of the great Seattle Mariners of all time. How many grand slams he had in his career. Gutierrez down on strikes. Second strikeout in the inning. Both outs coming via the punch out. And now Kyle Seager comes to the plate. Seager's 0 for 3. Nori Aoki, Gutierrez, Seager, and Seth Smith all with 0-fers tonight. But 9 runs on the board. A couple of 4-run innings. And all but one of those runs earned tonight against the Astros pitching staff. Cano, the big man with the 6 RBIs. Ketel Marte, though, with 3 hits tonight, has been big. Two and two on Seager. Good downward action gets the strikeout. So Seager 0 for 4 on the night, but Seattle unloads for another 4 spot on the board. 9-0. Mariners on top. The Mariners have had it their way tonight. 9-0. They lead it.
Ash.
Yes.
You know what?
Talk to me.
You know what's good about a T-Rex as a hitter?
No, I have not a clue.
Can't jam a T-Rex with those arms.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree. And
crowd the dish.
Tony Zych now, new pitcher on for Seattle. As you look at what the Mariners have done with their bullpen this year, they have certainly improved a great deal through the first 20-ish ball games. New second baseman for the Mariners. Luis Sardinas is that new second baseman. Oh, there's Tony Zych. Ninth game of the year, 360 Ernie. And the righties have had a miserable time. The Astros 2 hits on the night. Colby Rasmus picked up a single in the 4th inning. They got a 7th inning single from Tyler White, and that's been it. 3 walks issued by their starter tonight, Nathan Carnes, who makes it back-to-back very good starts for Seattle. For Jason Castro on the night, he has walked and struck out.
at that slider from Zick. He's a fastball slider guy. 95 miles an hour is what he averages on that heater.
So let's take a little look at perspective. Last year, we know the Texas Rangers won the American League West.
Yes, won it outright. Yep.
They started out their season on May 1st. The Texas Rangers were 8-16.
There you go.
And so I imagine there were a lot of folks saying, well, the Rangers are brutal this year. They're not going to do a thing. And they found a way to get it turned around. They were 8-16. Yeah, you know what? A number just changed on me. I have 7-15 now in front of me. But if you take it 2 days deeper, it was 8-16. So, I mean, they're virtually equal as Jason Castro draws the walk.
But it's good to look at those things and understand, you know, crazy things happen in this game. 162 baseball games.
Sometimes when you least expect it. Nobody out. Castro aboard. Top of the order, Jose Altuve. Altuve looking for that first knock of the night. He's drawn a walk. That pitch appeared to be high on Altuve, called a strike.
Just a bit.
By a bit, you mean a wide margin, right?
Yeah. Still got to maintain your composure behind home plate, don't you?
I would think so.
Keep that strike zone, the integrity of it at least. The pitch was lower. I'm losing it.
I don't really
go into that ball player mode and you start chirping.
I don't view it as you being the one that's losing it right now. And Altuve didn't say anything, but he had to be very upset at that call. The count even at 2-2 on Jose. Frisbee sails away. That'll fill the count. Very close. Altuve draws the walk, second of the night for Jose. Back-to-back walks here in the 8th inning to start things, and it brings up George Springer, and the pitching coach coming out for Seattle, as they will talk things over rather quickly now. Mel Stottlemyre is the pitching coach, and the message being, let's go, you got to throw strikes.
Yeah, and you don't expect him to go in there and just pump heaters right down the middle, but still, I think the conversation was don't nibble so much, be aggressive with the fastball, don't pitch to the middle third of the plate, pitch to the outer third or inner third, just pick a third, but not the one down the middle. How many times can I say third? A third of the time?
Yeah.
Wow. They need a cup of coffee.
George Springer trying to be the third walk of the inning.
Well played. I like it. Sensing a theme.
Springer is 0 for 3 on the evening, but has hit in 5 straight coming in, and drills one to right center field. That drops for a hit, and it kicks away from the center fielder Aoki. That will enable Castro to score into second base, and safe in there is George Springer. It'll be a single, and no doubt an E8. We'll see if they award an RBI for Springer. But the Astros get on the board. It's now 9-1 and still nobody out. Runners at second and third.
It also extends a hitting streak for George Springer here at Safeco Field to 12 games. That's a fastball that catches the middle third, and George Springer doesn't miss it. Rifles it back up the middle.
There is no RBI awarded to Springer. It is an E8 after the single.
What? Wasn't there a guy on second base?
There was. You'd have to take another look at. Looked like Castro might have held up on that line drive. So,
jeez.
Yeah.
Stay hot.
Carlos Correa at the plate. He also is 0 for 3. Yeah, what do you say? Let's have a big inning.
Why not?
Strike is called. We check in with Julia.
Time to check in and see how the Astros are playing to win. Brought to you by Toyota Tundra. We're looking at how pitchers are attacking Correa here recently, down and in, but really trying to get him out down and away. So pounding in. I know Blummer was talking about this earlier.
Yeah, I think they're going to that inside zone early, and once they get ahead of him with 2 strikes, they see a swing right there fighting off a fastball, but they really go to that outside. Look back at the first AB on Carlos. That's what they got him out on. Set it up with a couple of fastballs on the inside part of the plate. And again, go out there. He made the adjustment on this one to hit it well, but just not well enough to get over the head of Nelson Cruz. And there it is, down and away again.
And he offers on that slider, not even close. Correa is 0 for 4 now with a strikeout. First out in the inning, Colby Rasmus comes to the plate.
There's times you don't want to be right in this game, but the tendencies are what they are, and that's what they've been doing. Good late break on that slider from Zick.
Colby Rasmus 1 for 3 tonight. 4th inning single. Hitting .277. A ball and a strike on Rasmus. Had some hard throwers out there this evening. Runners at second and third. And now 2-2. Seattle gets a left-hander up in their pen. Mike Montgomery. Towering pop shallow into right field. Cano back, called off by Cruz, who makes the catch. Not deep enough to send the runner Altuve from third, so 2 outs. And now in the hands of Preston Tucker. I said Cano on that pop fly. That's Sardinus at second. Preston Tucker is 0 for 2, has drawn a walk tonight. Erik Kratz doing some throwing in the Astros pen, so maybe he comes on defensively. Likely if Castro's spot comes up again in the inning. Or are we talking about Kratz as a pitcher tonight?
I think that might be the possibility.
See how things go in the inning. Ground ball hit on the right side, shift on. Shortstop Marte with the play, and that'll do it as Tucker grounds out. The Astros get on the board. It's 9-1 Seattle. Houston Astros baseball on Root Sports is presented by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Back in Seattle, and the Mariners have had it their way tonight. 9-1 they lead it as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and Erik Kratz is going to do something he has never done in the big leagues. He's going to take the hill.
It's one of those dubious honors. I don't know if that makes any sense, but anytime a position player comes in to pitch, it's usually not a good thing. But we get a chance to see what Kratz has. He's usually behind the plate. Now he's in front of it.
At 82 miles an hour, he slips one by. 7-8-9 coming up for Seattle. Chris Iannetta at the plate. Has doubled and walked on his evening, 1 for 2. And that fastball drilled into left center field. Sometimes you get a little over anxious when you're facing a position player.
I hated facing position players. It just opens yourself up to ridicule if you don't get a hit.
Expectations become a little sky high, don't they?
Oh, man.
Dae-Ho Lee at the plate. 2 for 3 on his night. South Korean born player, and he can swing the bat a bit. Fastball skips on by Castro.
It's not too often you get a chance to see a catcher and catcher battery.
Don't know if I've ever seen it happen before, actually. And I wonder if Kratz even throws a breaking ball. It's been nothing but straight at this point. Hit on the ground to short. So they're going to get Lee as Correa throws him out. First out of the 8th. 9-hitter Seth Smith coming to the plate.
Eric Kratz can say he's pitched and gotten it out in the big leagues. Check that off the bucket list.
I wonder if he even had that on his bucket list.
Probably not until about 3 or 4 minutes ago.
I managed an independent team a couple of years, and when I named my MVPs at the end of each season, I allowed them to have their dream. One of the guys wanted to play 9 positions.
Oh, nice.
Enjoyed his opportunity. And the other guy, a left-handed first baseman, wanted to play shortstop one time in professional ball. And be darned if the manager didn't take a bunch of heat from the fans on that one. Strike on the outside edge, 2-1.
Had to be worth it though, right?
For those players. Yeah,
that's all it's about.
No, it was meant to be a good time, and it was, until you get some fans who make it a little rough.
Independent ball though, Ash.
Well,
I mean, I know you're playing hard, but come on, you got to understand the situation, where you're at. Did that just happen?
That one kind of got away. I believe I heard them rule that a wild pitch. Yeah.
How do you hold that? I mean, just when you thought it couldn't get any more bizarre? Seriously?
Through the left side on the ground. It's an RBI single for Seth Smith, making it 10-1. Still 1 out. Top of the order with Aoki coming to the plate.
Well, our delivery of the game is brought to you by Jimmy John's. Fortunately, the Astros have been on the receiving end of these deliveries, and it was Robinson Cano's 10th career grand slam, making the score 9-0 after that swing.
Strike of the knees, 0-2 the count. So Aoki goes up and takes a couple of strikes. "12 Seattle hits on the evening." Aoki just does stay alive. Stays at 2-2, make that 1-2 on Aoki. Ground ball just foul outside the bag.
Good stop by Melissa from Bellevue.
Actually, I think that's the first time this year you've been called upon to.
Yeah, really haven't had the opportunity, huh?
Show your vast knowledge.
It's all scouting.
2 balls and 2 strikes. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. Ground ball through the left side. Aoki has a hit. 3rd of the inning against Kratz. Stopping at 2nd is Seth Smith. For Aoki, that's his first hit of the evening. Marte swings on a fastball inside and fouls it back.
Did you ever have the chance to catch a position player, Ash?
Might have. Craig Reynolds was called upon to pitch a ball game, and it may have happened more than once.
Whoa, knuckleball, right?
Yeah, I wonder if that's what the one that got away was.
Got a grip of that one, huh?
Yeah.
What a boy.
Working with Steve Sparks maybe a little bit. Well, go ahead and throw that thing some more.
Well, if you can make it dance like that, go for it.
Chilly night. It's got to be a little bit tough trying to get a grip on that thing, but
oh, he's digging.
Well, that knuckleball slips by Castro. So apparently there was some dance on that thing. It is ruled a pass ball on Castro. Had a wild pitch and a pass ball in the inning. Ooh, that's a pretty good knuckleball. Sharply hit, but right at White. He'll go to the bag for the out. Scoring on the play from third base is Seth Smith to make it 11-1. RBI ground out for Marte. His second ribby on the night. It brings up Luis Sardinas. First at bat of the night for Sardinas. Sardinas has a home run on his season, a couple of RBIs. Drives one to left field. Rasmus is there, and that'll do it for the 8th inning. But Seattle adds a pair against Erik Kratz. We go to the 9th. 11-1 Seattle.
Astros, top of the 9th. The fans have spoken, and now we get to name that Astro, brought to you by your local Honda dealer. Mariners draft pick back in 1990, played for 6 different teams, was the NLCS MVP. There we go. Some tweets from you. We got a Brett Boone in there.
Got my own hashtag.
Oh, you do have an hashtag.
Yes.
A lot of Mike Hamptons. That would be the correct answer. Let's see Mike Hampton. There he is.
There he is. Out there in that Mariners bullpen. We were actually teammates for a brief moment in Arizona towards the end of his career. Great individual.
Boy, what a year he had with the Astros. I believe 99, 22-4, I want to say. Not looking at the numbers in front of me, but he was just phenomenal and the best defensive pitcher I have ever witnessed. I know Greg Maddux had all the gold gloves, but I've never seen anybody play that position defensively quite like Mike Hampton. Left-hander Mike Montgomery on to pitch for Seattle here in the 9th inning, facing Tyler White to start it.
I thought for sure you were going to talk about Hampy's 2001 year with Colorado when he hit 7 home runs.
Well, that's pretty impressive too. White skies one to left field. Gutierrez makes the play, and out number 1. You know, and Hampy batted right-handed too.
He can rake. He hit 291 that season. The next year, he hit 344 with 3 home runs.
What were his stats in '99? Was that the year that he went 22-4?
Let me scroll down for you, and we can look at. Let me scroll down a little bit more. 22-4. You're correct. Led the league with 22 wins.
Just a fantastic season. Carlos Gomez 0 for 3 on his night, hitting .203. Montgomery is 26 years of age. Big guy stands at 6'5". Just his 22nd game career-wise in the bigs.
Ouch. That is not what you need on a night like this.
You don't want to beat yourself up, but right on that shin.
Man. That brings up some bad memories.
Oh, you and me both. Swings through that pitch down and in. So an 0 for 4 night for Carlos. 2 down now in the 9th. Luis Valbuena comes to the plate. Valbuena 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Nathan Karns in position to pick up the W tonight. Dallas Keuchel statistically got roughed up 5 earnings in 6 innings and finishes with a 4.41 ERA. Michael Feliz and Eric Kratz followed on the hill. And a 3-2 count. Down on strikes Valbuena, and that'll do it. Montgomery comes in, has a 1-2-3 ninth inning. So game 2 is in the books here in Seattle. And the Mariners have won each of the first 2 meetings between these two clubs. Tonight they do it in big fashion over the Astros. 11-1 the final, and nothing but questions for the Astros to answer for themselves.